Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you, everybody, for attending the Iowa Business Council's release of our 2026 competitive dashboard. We're glad to have you here with us today on a really great spring day here in Central Iowa and across the state. My name is Joe Murphy, and I'm the president of the Iowa Business Council, a nonpartisan business association comprised of 22 executives from some of Iowa's largest employers. Since the Iowa Business Council's founding in 1985, the IBC has worked to elevate Iowa's economic vitality through global thought leadership, research, and advocacy. Our members span the entire state and provide an influential economic and philanthropic impact across all of our communities. Just last year, Iowa Business Council's 22 members employed more than 156,000 Iowans, had a combined payroll of more than $10 billion, spent over $2.6 billion in capital investment, had more than $1 billion in research and development activities, gave more than $155 million in charitable contributions, in addition to accumulating over 186,000 volunteer hours off for various local events. And we spent more than $33 million in education and training for our employees. Our members work together to identify opportunities that will strengthen Iowa's economy and initiate change in the pursuit of prosperity for the state and all of its residents. One way we identify where we need to focus the council's efforts is through this report, Iowa's Competitive Dashboard, which we've released annually since 2011. This report is a snapshot in time and measures how Iowa is competing in 5 indicators relative to other states and provides an overall ranking for each indicator, which include economic growth, workforce and education, governance, health and wellness, and state demographics. Each indicator consists of 5 metrics that are averaged to determine Iowa's overall performance in that category. And those performance categories represent outperforming, competitive, or underperforming. All the metrics included in this report can be measured consistently across all 50 states, thus providing us with an accurate depiction of how Iowa is competing nationally. Ultimately, we want this report to be both a guide and a tool for policymakers, businesses, and community leaders when pursuing efforts to make Iowa more competitive. We will also share recommendations that serve as a roadmap to make our state more competitive and tackle the challenges that threaten Iowa's long-term growth. I'm pleased to have the chairman of the Iowa Business Council and Muscatine-based Kent Worldwide CEO and Chairman Gage Kent here today to share some of the top highlights of this year's report. Gage, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Joe, and good morning to everyone that's on the call today. Thanks for joining us to hear about the Iowa Competitive Dashboard results for the year. As Joe mentioned, we're excited to announce the findings of our signature research report. Since 2011, we've released this economic data for those seeking to understand Iowa's competitive advantages and its challenges. We hope policymakers and business leaders use it to set goals and develop plans to benefit all Iowans. Today, I'd like to share some specific high-level points of the report. We believe that bipartisan approaches can be formulated for each one of these areas. By addressing issues such as a competitive tax policy, workforce initiatives, and economic development tools, Iowa can become an even more competitive, healthy state. We will share our screen for purposes of this press conference and highlight selected metrics of the report that we think provide key insights into the opportunities in Iowa's competitive position. Afterward, the full report will be posted on our website and distributed to all of you on our media list. We'll start with the economic growth category. Our economy has remained steady with a gross state product of more than $265 billion. This represents a greater than 4% increase over the last year's report, further indicating resiliency throughout our industrial sector. Iowa also ranks within the top 3 states nationally with respect to our manufacturing value as a percentage of our gross state product. Iowa is a perennial top 10 state in this category. But we will continue to monitor this core industry as the manufacturing sector in Iowa has had some challenges over the last 12 months. Moving then to the category of education and workforce, you'll see that we continue to emphasize high-quality, work-based learning initiatives throughout the state. In 2024-2025 academic year, 278 Iowa high school districts offered work-based learning programs, and these important career explorations resulted in more than 36,000 Iowa students engaging in at least one high-quality work-based learning experience. This is an increase of over 11,000 participants across the high school students population over the 2023-2024 academic year. We do mean to move the needle here. Iowa Business Council continues to believe that when businesses and educators partner on work-based learning opportunities, career paths in Iowa are created and sustained. As the state continues to invest and promote work-based learning, the Iowa Business Council expects improvements in the coming future. We believe this will continue the strong work ethic that our state is famous for. Furthermore, the Iowa Business Council is working with businesses and educators to identify areas and opportunities around artificial intelligence by aligning stakeholders on how the technology will impact the economy and workforce opportunities in the years ahead. Moving to then governance. In this section, you will note that we continue to make steady progress in making Iowa's tax code more competitive for individuals and for companies. Since income tax reform was signed into law in 2022, Iowa's individual tax climate has increased a total of 29 spots, while corporate tax climate has increased a total of 9 spots. With a national ranking of 11th most competitive individual tax climate in the country, Iowa has achieved our long-term goal of becoming a top 15 most competitive state. If we then move to health and wellness, thriving workforce and new opportunities for economic development is best achieved when our people are healthy. It's just that simple. As the report notes, Iowa's healthcare delivery system, like the rest of the country, continues to experience stress in meeting the healthcare needs of Iowans. While there are multiple issues that need attention, focusing on increasing the number of primary care providers should be at the top of the list. Iowa experienced a decline of 3 spots in the number of providers per 100,000 Iowans this year. We also continue to have concerns around Iowans' access to mental health providers, as we ranked 42nd nationally in this access. The IBC continues to seek out opportunities to engage in healthcare policy in ways that increase access and create thriving healthcare systems across the state of Iowa. As I said earlier, a thriving workforce can only be achieved when our people are healthy. And there's not a dollar we make that's worth having situations where they can't work in a healthy situation. So finally, let's go to the demographic trends. This is the category that requires most important improvement. Iowa's population growth has consistently trailed the national average. We ranked 32nd, down 1 spot in total population. We further ranked 29th in the nation. For the 5-year population change, I misstated that. We further ranked 29th in the nation for 5-year population change and 38th in net overall migration. We also have concerns on the amount of young, college-educated Iowans leaving our state each year. Recently, the data or recent data shows the outmigration of individuals aged 25 to 29 with bachelor's degrees or higher was more than 4,500 individuals. This loss of talent is lost innovations, economic productivity, and revenue for our state. As we've said for years now, Iowa's population needs to grow in order for business to expand and provide opportunities to the next generation of Iowans. Growing our population is an absolute must. All our policies should work together toward this goal. The IBC continues to be a strong advocate for comprehensive immigration reform at the federal level, while also partnering with the state and local organizations on marketing opportunities for Iowa's careers and business opportunities. So with all this in mind as a background, I'd like of the actual data, I'd like to turn the program back over to Joe, and he'll briefly discuss the Iowa Business Council policy recommendation. Joe?
Thanks, Gage. The Iowa Business Council believes that we can positively impact all of the categories outlined in this competitive dashboard report by focusing on issues such as competitive tax policy, workforce development initiatives, and economic development initiatives. The IBC applauds recent efforts to expand Iowa's competitiveness with respect to taxes. As we continue to become more competitive, as Gage mentioned, in our income tax structure and unemployment insurance taxes, we now turn our attention fully to the property tax debate. Iowa ranks 33rd in property tax competitiveness, and working through this complicated policy area is a top priority for the Iowa Business Council. As Gage also mentioned, the availability of a talent pipeline is critical for long-term economic prosperity in Iowa. The Iowa Business Council will continue to advocate for initiatives that grow Iowa's workforce, including work-based learning programs, childcare, and housing. As our chairman stated earlier, we're also actively engaging in healthcare policy in effort to increase access, especially in rural areas, to high-quality healthcare delivery systems. We believe access to these systems is absolutely necessary to drive population growth and maintain economic expansion throughout the state. Iowa's competitive dashboard is far more than just a collection of data and statistics about our state. It's meant to serve as a tool for businesses and community leaders to determine how they can strengthen Iowa, and whether that be joining us in implementing our recommendations or developing their own using this data. In an effort to learn more about opportunities and challenges throughout our state, the Iowa Business Council will once again offer Vision to Vitality events across the state in 2026, and we invite you and anyone else to participate in these events. These forums help build bridges with local policymakers, educators, and business leaders to better position our state to grow and enhance our economy. In addition to our Vision to Vitality event series, we'll also embark on a roadshow of sorts to bring this data to leaders across Iowa so that they have access to this important information on how their local businesses and community decisions impact the economic vitality of our entire state. Please note that this full report can now be accessed on our website, iowabusinesscouncil.org. And so now we'll move to the question and answer portion of our presentation. And we would ask that you raise your hand in the chat feature or ask a question in the Q&A section. All right. Well, seeing none, we appreciate you all being here today. If there's questions that do come to mind, please feel free to reach out to the Iowa Business Council, and we look forward to continuing to work with you and your colleagues. Gage, is there anything else you'd like to add for the good of the order?
Well, I'd just like to thank everybody for participating and being on the call to hear what we've generated in this research report. The Iowa Business Council represents the Iowa's large corporations, and corporations are made up of Iowans. And all of this is important to each and every one of us together. So we need to work together to make sure that we can improve our rankings and improve the future fortunes of Iowans. Thanks, Joe.
Well said. Well said. Thank you, Gage. Thanks everybody for being here today, and we look forward to future opportunities in the days to come. Thank you.
Good day.